And we are back on the WHHI-TV Daily News. Joining me now is Willie P. Aiken, and he is, of course, the Jasper County Coroner. And it's always fascinating to talk to you because sometimes I think, gosh, what are we going to talk about? But then you always have so much to bring to the table. So today, we're going to talk about what happens after somebody does pass away. And I'm sure that that's different depending on how the person passed away, but kind of walk us through that process.
Okay, so it's always different. It just depends on the situation. But today we're really just talking about when you pass away, a natural death.
Okay.
A lot of times when folks pass away, the next of kin may think the death certificates are ready the next day or the cremation permit is ready the next day. But there's a process in between those two things. So we're working on a seminar coming up next month. And it's titled So You Died. And pretty much in that seminar, we're just going to be talking about things that your loved ones that are left behind has to do. So today, really, I just wanted to talk about two things briefly. Once you pass away, the death certificate is either signed by the physician that you were being seen under or the county coroner if there's no physician to sign the death certificate.
Okay.
And also a cremation permit. If the disposition is going to be cremation, there's certain things that the funeral homes have to send. And one of those things are the death certificate. And to complete a death certificate, the family has to go into the funeral home, give them vital information. Once the funeral home places the vital information into the Versus system, which is with the Department of Public Health, DPH, it's then either sent to the coroner or the physician, and we would then do what we call the medical portion, and we would then put the cause and manner of death in there. Okay. Now, once you get that by law, then you legally can send a request to be cremated to the coroner's office with a copy of that signed death certificate. So, sometimes families need death certificates for things like insurance. We cannot always sign it within 24 to 48 hours, sometimes within 2 to 3 weeks, because we have to get all of the medical records. And sometimes you have to subpoena those from doctors' offices. It takes a while. Sometimes we have to get reports. We have to do interviews with the family. So I just really wanted to educate folks in our coming up seminars the process time between death certificates and cremations, because sometimes they're called here upset. They need it for this, or they need it for a probate, or need it for this. They got assets. So we just kind of want to educate folks so, they can understand why we take so long, because we have to properly investigate.
And then does that death certificate have to be certified? So they, in other words, have a raised seal on it at some point to be accepted to different places?
Yes. So most places need an official death certificate, like your insurance companies. They may sometimes take a copy, or your bank. If you're trying to close out your loved one's bank account, you may need an official certified copy of the death certificate. Now, it doesn't have to say cardiac arrest. It can say pending for a lot of cases. Okay. And when it comes to cremation, we can have pending, and the cause of death is pending, manner of death is pending. And then once we got all of our information, then we'll come back and do an amendment. And then we will say the cause of death is cardiac arrest or what have you, and manner is natural. And then you can send that to your insurance company.
Okay, very interesting. And what are some of the things that the family should, you mentioned that you have to do an interview with the family to get some of the pertinent information. What is the information that if they can gather as much as they can, what should they have?
Your loved one's social, if they have one, their parents' name, where they were born, really information that goes on to the death certificate, because that's what you're going to need in order to cremate and also file insurance claims as well if you have insurance.
And so tell us just once again a little bit about the seminar. When can people sign up for that? Is it free to the public? How do they get in tune with that seminar if they're interested in attending?
Okay, right now we are trying to weigh out the options. We want to do a RSVP, but then we're not sure of the turnout, so we may just have it free to the public. And we're also trying to get a venue where the internet is good enough for us if we needed to live stream it as well. So Right now we're working out the kinks, so we want to get as much information out to folks as possible. So I will be letting you all know as soon as we get a date set.
Okay, so maybe next time when you visit us, we'll have the date, but it's good to know that that information is going to be out there. Thank you, as always, for sharing your information with us, Willie. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And we'll be back in a moment, so don't go away.